Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, this is 1983's Naughty Girls Need Love 2. 1983's Naughty Girls Need Love 2. On the front, it says, "You've never witnessed it, you've never experienced it, you won't believe it." This is directed by Edwin Brown, and I'm not familiar with that name at all. At first, I thought it was a pseudonym, but it doesn't seem to be because this is released by Vinegar Syndrome, and typically they will tell you if it's a pseudonym or who the real director is. But directed by acclaimed filmmaker Edwin Brown, who also did 1001 Erotic Nights, which I've never seen before. This has Hypatia Lee, Honey Wilder, the big cast of the adult male actors from the Golden Age: Jamie Gillis, Ron Jeremy, John Leslie. We also have, really interestingly, the trailer states that it's Hypatia Lee's first hardcore film, and we also have, I believe it's this girl here, and I'm blanking on her name. She was a Hustler centerfold. It's also her first hardcore film as well. We also have one of my favorites, Mona Page, right there. It's hard to see her. She's in the film Nasty Nurses, which I've also looked at on this YouTube page. And we have some other faces I haven't seen before, male and female. There's a girl with pigtails in here who's in the first kind of 30 to 40 minutes of the film that I really like. Never seen her before. So new faces, older faces, faces that you're familiar with. Even this girl here, there's a lot of, okay, that girl right there, who's in some other releases from Vinegar Syndrome, and ones that I'll be looking at actually on this YouTube page in the future. So for tonight, let's look at Naughty Girls Need Love 2, great cover, from 1983. This is a 97-minute film, and let's get into this movie right here, folks. What's great about it in so many levels is I'm a huge fan of apartment movies. Of hotel movies. And I'm also a huge fan of films that take place over the span of one period of time. A lot of times, like, my favorite horror films, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original by Tobe Hooper, takes place over the course of one night, and then the movie ends, in the morning when the sun comes up. And you look at more modern horror films like House of a Thousand Corpses by Rob Zombie, same kind of deal. The hand comes out, it's morning time, and it's the end of the movie. And Naughty Girls Need Love 2 is so great because it takes place in an apartment complex, and essentially it has like the stories as the camera glides over each outside window, each floor. It has the stories of the people inside those specific apartments, and it all takes place over the course of, day to night kind of thing. And you get the beauty of the day with these beautiful outdoor shots, and the beauty of the night as the movie ends with the stars in the sky. And, because this whole thing is an apartment complex in Marina Del Rey. And it might actually be Marina Del Rey. It probably is. And it's beautiful. I mean, such lush greenery. So many palm trees and so many boats right on the bay. Tons of boats docked there. People walking around. It almost looks like a resort in some way. And it's just like the most lush greenery in California I've seen. And there is such a laid back, awesome, little wacky, little humorous, fun, love vibe to this hardcore film. Now, you can do your research. You've heard this title somewhere else before, right? You heard it for the Samantha Fox, the British pop star song. I believe it was like in '87, so this was before that song. And actually, the adult film actress Samantha Fox is not in this movie, so that would have been even more interesting. And the first thing that you'll notice too, well, in some ways, I really feel like the movie almost has the vibe of a sex comedy. So you have that type of vibe in here. You also have kind of a coming of age vibe in here as well. You have each character's stories. From the male side and the female side, you have characters who have not opened themselves up sexually before, or even to relationships in general, feel very awkward with them. People getting taken advantage of by their careers. We even have and then we have a lot of people that are having fun and experimenting. We have the apartment mechanic who finds himself involved with some ladies being lured away. We have a college professor who leads a class on sexuality and is very open to instructing his students in his own apartment room. And the interesting thing is there is narration in this film, predominantly at the beginning and the end. And the narration is coming from Honey Wilder, and she's actually referring to herself as Honey, whereas the other actresses, when they refer to their name, I do not believe it's always their real name or their real acting name. So it was funny that Honey's name is used there. And then we even have, I believe, kind of like the narration of a couple other characters too. So a very interesting style to that. Very, when the movie starts and you're getting in, you're in 10, 15 minutes, there's a real breezy vibe about the film. You feel like you're right on the bay, Marina Del Rey, California, perfect weather every day. That rhymed. Beautiful blue skies. And we're spending all of our time in this apartment complex, in the various rooms, the various people, their stories, and how their stories intersect with other people and other people's stories. And Naughty Girls Need Love Too. Now, musically speaking, we have this great theme that repeats itself numerous times near the beginning of the film, and then kind of brings itself back for the climax of the film. This electronic, pounding, synthy, almost post-disco vibe to it, real driving, real great for intercourse, sexual activity. We also have a lot of great laid-back, jazzy type vibes. We have classical music in here and some pretty famous pieces. We have some really interesting songs with vocals. One in particular that almost sounds like a 50s meets 80s pop song during, I believe, a Hypatia Lee scene. And it's filled with music. But the interesting thing is that while it's filled with music, it also utilizes silence as well, or just the natural sounds. And I was talking to somebody about this movie, and I was saying one of the interesting things is that just like for a horror film, it seems like when the music is gone, when it cuts away, and you're just left with the scene's natural sounds, it becomes more powerful. Now, in the form of a horror film, it becomes more disturbing or scary or shocking or creepy. But in the form of a sex film, it becomes more erotic. You get more horny. It gets more intense. And that was the case in this film, without a doubt. And I got to tell you that the sex scenes in here are phenomenal. Every single one of them, all of them, loved them. And this is the kind of film that if you love sex scenes, and you love the sex scenes to have a good length to them too, you know, they don't just go away pretty quickly. You're gonna love this movie as well. And it's a 97-minute film here, hardcore film. So you're getting a lot of just a lot of great sex scenes. Now we have amazing 2 girls, 1 guy scenes in this film, especially from the get-go. Amazing. We also have an amazing lesbian scene that's actually someone's instructing them what to do. I don't want to give away too much. Amazing. We've great, you know, kind of 2 girls seducing a guy in a different way when he's supposed to be working on their leaky faucet. We have this absolutely wildly strange and intense and powerful sex scene between Jamie Gillis and Honey Wilder in this film, where he's recounting memories of him being sexually abused by his teacher when he was in the 8th grade, and how they use that for fuel for their sexual fire together. And it's a really almost violent sex scene. It's so intense and wild with Jamie Gillis's vibes. Jamie Gillis has the longest hair I've ever seen him have in any movie so far in Naughty Girls Need Love 2 as well. Everybody is great in here. Mona Page, I mentioned, who's from Nasty Nurses. Did I say that? I just blanked on the title. I looked at it on my YouTube page already. She's just amazing. Great tan lines, huge boobs, just perfect. Almost has like a mullet cut a bit to it too, so it's pretty cool. But it looks good on her. Great 80s makeup. Just really, everybody looks awesome. The people I haven't seen before, the people I've seen before. We got the whole vibes of youth. We also got the vibes of more maturity with Honey Wilder. The shots for the sex scenes are great. You get some close-up shots of the vagina, but not in this particular style. You don't get many. You're getting a lot of kind of shots of both people involved or three people involved. It gets gynecological at times, but not as much as other X-rated films, actually. And you really get a chance to take in the bodies, the full bodies. There's an unbelievable scene with Hypatia Lee in here, a sex scene where she basically gets undressed before she has sex, and just the ballet, so to speak, of her getting undressed and how amazing it is and how seductive it is and how sexually attractive it is, and then leading to the sex scene. Hypatia Lee is amazing in here. She's also playing a character that is maybe not what I was used to for her. She's definitely playing against type for herself, and you're gonna see that in this movie as well. There's a very strong 80s vibe to this film, and it's beautiful. 80s, laid back, carefree. There's some hijinks in here as well. Keep your eyes open for the Cheap Trick poster, for the Steve Martin poster. Also keep your eyes peeled for a poster that really floored me. I had to pause the movie, the Blue Lagoon with Brooke Shields. You'll see that on the door. Very, very cool. It's an interesting film too, because with the wild free sex, ultimately it seems like people are hooking up with each other. People are finding partners in their own ways. And so there's a bit of love and romance in the air, as well as people kind of are having sex freely, but also kind of clicking with some people, and maybe you're learning about some people who have intentions to be with other people. So in many ways, it's almost like a sex comedy, a hardcore sex comedy vibe, mixed with some romance, mixed with like kind of some 80s regular comedy. A guy trying to help another guy pick up girls, type of vibe as well. This is Naughty Girls Need Love 2 from 1983. I gotta tell you, one of the hottest X-rated films I've seen. Absolutely love it. The sex scenes are unbelievable, and all the girls look amazing. And I think for the ladies too, or for anybody who likes to see the guys, you got some guys that are good looking too in here. You got guys that have the California look to them, and then you got the big wigs as well, like John Leslie, Jamie Gillis, and Ron Jeremy. Ron Jeremy is not in here for long at all, and he's actually in quite a comedic yet let's just say a scene that wouldn't be PC today for 2018, and actually a lot of stuff in here would not be cool even in today's porn, especially Jamie Gillis's 8th grade story. But this is 1983's Naughty Girls Need Love Too. Love this movie so much. And thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarre YouTube page, where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like Naughty Girls Need Love Too. Please feel free to check out my own personal films at youtube.com/poopy diarrhea. That's POOPY diarrhea. You can subscribe there. I have new movies coming out all the time, and lots of old ones on there as well too. Thank you so much, and good night.